With US midterms just 1 week away now, the White House, or less than, the White House has announced President Biden will make an unscheduled speech at the US Capitol. Let's bring in our Washington correspondent, Annalise Nielsen. She's on the campaign trail in Marietta in Georgia today. Annalise, what's the speech all about?
Well, the speech is all about preserving democracy, as Joe Biden and his White House puts it. They're going to have a strong focus on January 6th and what happened that day, and they're hoping that this is going to encourage people to come out and vote Democrat. There's been record high early voting across the country, but from polling it does seem that a lot of that is Republicans casting their ballot early, and that 2020 might have just reframed exactly how the US votes. This is going to be a speech delivered within Union Station. It wasn't pre-announced. This was a last-minute scheduling decision by the White House to deliver this speech in the Capitol Hill neighbourhood, and it's going to focus, they say, on this issue that democracy is at stake. This is what the Democrats have been campaigning on for the last few weeks, but it appears it hasn't been polling to the same levels as they would have been hoping. When asked about it, the White House press secretary said that she doesn't consider this a bipartisan topic at all.
It doesn't matter if there's a D or an R after your name. He will call out any rhetoric that leads to potentially political violence, or that calls to political violence, for political violence. That is a problem. The president has always condemned political violence. It doesn't matter, again, if you're a Republican, an independent, or a Democrat.
So, Pete, for the last few weeks, we've been out travelling in these key states that are going to be the most important for deciding the balance of power in Washington, D.C., depending on who wins for the Senate races, those congressional races, and those governor's races are important as well. So we've been out asking voters what they're concerned about, and it's not compulsory to vote. So the number one question is always whether you are going to vote at all. We're seeing quite a high level of enthusiasm among the general public, and this one voter I thought would be quite illustrative in particular, because it does indicate how you can't expect every person to vote straight up and down the ballot, just depending on the party.
I'm super engaged with our school system, our students, and inclusion and diversity and things that are happening in the workplace.
And how are you feeling about the race for governor? Who's your pick?
Kemp.
Kemp, yeah. Why Kemp?
He aligns with more of my thoughts and goals that I have personally.
What about senator's race? Who's your pick?
I'm still on the fence right now on that one.
Not a Walker fan?
No.
So there you go. That's the governor for Republicans, for that one voter, but she wasn't quite around Herschel Walker, who we know has had those pretty controversial issues around his previous relationships with women, accusations of domestic violence, and accusations that he paid for abortions, despite now being very pro-life. So it's always going to be an interesting, messy time in those last few days before midterms.
OK. Annalise Nielsen live from Marietta in Georgia. Thank you.